what I suggest is that first, I would like to tell you a bit more about the program. Some of you are already in the process of applying, others aren't. So I just wanted to give you a brief overview on the programs. And then I will be happy to have Anna, Lucas, and Timur to introduce themselves, tell them a little bit more about themselves, their experience in the program. And then, of course, it's going to be interactive sessions, so feel free to interrupt whenever you have a question. You can also write your questions in the chat, but as I said, don't hesitate to switch on your microphone whenever you would like to speak. All right, so this session, we organized it specifically for candidates in Switzerland. So as you know, or you not know, but I'm responsible for recruiting in Switzerland, besides also Sub-Saharan Africa. So I'm happy, to be here, and also very happy that Anna, Lucas, and Timur could join us today. So thanks for your time, as always, joining me and sharing your experience. So Timur, Hannah, and Lucas, they will introduce themselves in a little while. Let me first tell you more about Esade. I'm sure you all have done your research. And you might have seen, all right, that Esade, you might know that Esade's campus is in Barcelona. We have two campuses, one for master's and bachelor, and then another one for full-time MBA and executive MBA. And Esade has a triple accreditation. So if you're interested in that, you can have a further look. So AMBA, CSB, and then also EQUIS. And the master programs, they're part of our business school. So we have other business units, which are the law school, and then also executive education. And then Esade is partnering with a lot of schools around the world. And the partnerships are very different depending on what kind of program. Like, for example, in the MSc program, we work with partner schools for the study tour and also for our global international management and global finance program. And then, for example, in the MBA program, we partner with schools for our exchange program, electives, and then also the same for the executive MBA. Now, values of Esade, I think when you check out schools, I think it's important to see, okay, what are the values of the school? Do I fit there? These values also correspond with my values, right? Esade, very important, collaboration, team spirit. A lot of your grades will depend on your group work. So if you're an individual, if individual competition is important for you, then I think you will suffer at Esade, because you are going to be working in groups during the entire program. Very practical approach, and that's for all our programs. Our professors, they are business practitioners. They have very solid relationships with companies they've been working with or for. They have their own companies. So they will introduce, and whenever it's possible in courses, and then also for your longer projects that you will be doing in each each program, you will be working with companies on real challenges. And then also what I mean with focus on you is the customization that we offer in all our programs. We're going to be talking about that. In the MSc programs, you can customize through the electives, through your study tour, through specific tracks in each program that you can choose out of. So I think this is important to take with you. Some numbers, Esade, a very, very huge alumni group that we have around the world. We have international chapters, and those are geographical chapters, and they're always associated to one city. Like in Switzerland, we have Zurich, we have Geneva, we have Basel, and we have Lausanne. So our alumni network worldwide is very active, organizing events for alumni that can go to from informal events, but then also sessions with professors that we recently had in Geneva and Zurich. All kinds of different initiatives that are going to be managed by our official alumni chapters. A lot of exchange agreements, as I mentioned, with the partner schools around the world. We have every year on campus more than 15,000 students. This is between the bachelor's, MSCs, full-time MBA, executive MBA. And then the diversity in class, large number of nationalities. Now, Barcelona, I think most of you have been to Barcelona. I think, as you know, Barcelona is a very attractive city. not only, weather-wise, beaches, but then also professionally, right? So each year, more and more startup companies are coming to Barcelona. The government is also making it easier for companies to come to establish their companies. And of course, Esade as a school, which has also a strong focus on entrepreneurship and for the internships, is very actively collaborating with those companies. A lot of events are taking place here, like the Mobile World Congress, taking place every year in Barcelona. All right, some rankings. Rankings are important. They are not the most important and not the only important thing, of course, to consider when you choose a school. But I mean, these are some of the ones that I wanted to highlight. Our MSc in Finance, 8 is in the 8 in Europe in the Financial Times, our marketing program. But then also, if you look in general, our programs are doing very well in salary increase. But what, for example, the Financial Times is doing is comparing the salary that our students have before starting the program, which of course MBA, because they all have work experience. All our students have a required work experience, comparing with then the starting salaries they have once they graduate from the program. Different programs. Today we're going to be focusing, of course, only on the MSc programs, and we currently offer, I would say, the business analytics, master in finance, innovation, entrepreneurship, sustainability, marketing, and international management. So all our masters are focused in a specific topic. Besides then, as a second degree option, we have the SEMS program, and I'm also going to tell you a bit more about that later on. From this year, very new, we're offering a new format, and that's for the Master in Finance and the Master in International Management, which is the Global Finance program and the Global International Management program. What is the difference here with the standard one? So that it's going to be slightly longer. It's going to be taking until December instead of September. And what our students are going to be doing as well, a really global experience, where they have the opportunity to choose between Dubai or the American University, the American University in Dubai and then the Hong Kong University in Hong Kong, to spend 10 weeks. In those 10 weeks, 5 weeks will be dedicated on academics. So you're going to be fully immersed on the campus of our partner schools. And then the following 5 weeks, you're going to be doing a practical project with local companies there. Local companies, but could be international companies, but you're going to be working on I would say a challenge that those companies are facing in those countries. That's going to be in team that you're going to be doing. So that means that instead of starting the third term at Esade, where you're going to be doing electives in our standard programs, you're going to be going abroad for 10 weeks. But then when you come back, you still have the option to do your internship and electives. So if you're doing your internship, you're going to have a smaller number of electives. If you're not doing an internship, you have 3 months to do a larger number of electives. So this is, I think a new format that could be very interesting for those of you that say, okay, I don't have enough with a 1 week study tour. I want to be doing a longer, I would say, stay abroad. And it's at this point, of course, it will give the option to our students to choose between a 1 year program, then the 15 months, which is the global, and then the double degree, which could be SEMS or an internal double degree as a second year as Esade. All right, so this is a structure of the standard program. All our programs have the same format. So they start in September with the welcome week. It's usually mid-September when the program starts. And then we have 3 terms. So you have the core courses in the first term, then the specialized courses, and then the electives in the last term. What is going to be happening between term 1 and term 2? And I'm gonna ask the students later on to tell their experience, because they just came back from their study tour. So you're going to have the option to do a study tour. This study tour is going to be 1 week long. Just in a little bit, I'm going to explain you more. It's optional for those of you that are not going to be doing a study tour. You're going to be staying in Barcelona, and you're going to be doing like workshops and in Barcelona. And then depending on what program you're going to be doing, you're going to be choosing a specific track, and that can start from the first term, can start from the second term, depending on the program. In the third term, when we come to the electives, there, of course, also depending what track you're going to be choosing, there's probably going to be a minimum of electives that you need to do from your track. But then you also have the option to do electives from other programs. So each program has electives available that are open to other programs. So if you say, look, I'm going to be doing the Master in Finance, but I want to combine with some electives in sustainability or entrepreneurship or marketing, just for you to know that that is then possible in the third term. There's going to be an individual project, a master project that we ask you to do. And there you also have the choice between a master thesis, an in-company project, and a business plan. I don't think there's a lot of students doing a master thesis because the program being very, practical. So most of them, of course, they prefer to do a more practical project, combine it with your internship, or then work on a business plan. And then, of course, July, August, September, for those of you that want, you will be doing an internship. And there, of course, our career team is going to be helping you. I'm going to be asking also our students later on what is their experience with the career team, how they have been collaborating and working with them on all the career activities. So depending what program that you do, depending what background you have, you will be asked to do a pre-program. Example, if you're doing the Master in Finance, you don't have a finance background, you will be doing during the summer period, right? You will be doing the pre-program in finance. If you're doing the business analytics and you have a technical background, you will be doing the business integration path. And then if you have a technical if you have a business background, you will be doing the pre-program in data science. And then for the other programs, entrepreneurship, international management, marketing, and sustainability, those of you that don't have a business background, you will be doing also this business integration path that starts in July. So these programs are online. The business integration path starts earlier. And then last year, the 2 last weeks, which means the 2 first weeks in September, our students were asked to come to campus, to be there earlier, to do the last part of the business integration path in person. But I think they're talking about it to do everything online for this year. So we're waiting for that confirmation. All right. Sorry, going one back. All right. This was the study tours that I mentioned before. So each program has 1, 2, or 3 study tours that you can choose out of. You will have the priority to do the study tour of your program, but then you can choose also to do a study tour of another program. So we will talk about it later, but if you say, okay, I'm doing international management and I want to do, let's say, the marketing study tour that goes to Bocconi, you will take, correct me if I'm wrong, Anna or Timur or Lucas. So you would take the study tour of your program and then you can swap it with a student of another program that then, of course, he or she has chosen as taking the study tour of their program. Am I correct? Yes. Okay, I am. Okay. Anna is nodding. Okay, great. So what does that mean? What is happening during this week? And I can tell you a little more about the International Management Study Tour in Cape Town because I was with a group 3 weeks ago, well, very recently, 2 weeks ago. So during this week, our students are going to be, of course, 1 week on campus of our partner school. And it's going to be a mix of classes, of course, lectures with the professors of our partner school, with company visits, and then also leisure activities. So at Cape Town University, besides the lectures, there was a case study on sustainability in the wine industry. So they visited several wine estates. They also had dinner in one of the wine estates. They went to the townships to see, okay, what's circular economy and how is business done in the townships. And then, of course, after this week, they also had to submit an assignment to talk about what they learned from that week. And then, of course, I think it has to be said that there's always some time before or after, so our students can stay, go earlier, discover the country or the city, and take some time to explore. And the schools we're working with, you can see them. You can see them here. So we work with Hong Kong University, with Bocconi, South Korea, it's KUBS, Singapore, NUS. University of Cape Town, St. Gallen, American University in Dubai. In Spain, this is a sustainability study tour, so we don't work directly with partner schools. It's going to be all company visits around Spain. Japan we're going, and then Bangalore for business analytics, and San Francisco, that's the entrepreneurship study tour. The SAMS program, Esade is the only school in Spain that is part of the SAMS association. So you can choose the SAMS program as a second year degree. If you're interested in applying for SAMS, you have to do it together with your first program, because the seats are being given at the start of the admissions process. So don't forget to add that to your application if you're interested in SAMS. Now, here you have a structure about how the second year will look like. So you're going to have one term at Esade, you're going to have one term at one of the 33 other partner schools, and then you're going to be doing an international internship. So depending on the partner school, they might give seats for the first term, they might give seats for the second term, or for both terms. So you will know, I mean, not from the beginning, of course, when you apply, but you will know in a later stage if it's going to be the first term or the second term that you're going to be abroad, right? So this is, you see also the credits that are represented by doing the SAMS program. And then each year also all the schools that are part of the SAMS association. What's this really interesting, because there's a SAMS association in Barcelona. So that means that when you start at Esade and you start your first years, there's already going to be activities that are taking place in Barcelona that you can be joining from the very beginning. The class profile every year, I mean, more or less, we have 570, 580 students and more than 70 nationalities. That's very similar every year. Academic background, a higher representation, as you can see, from business. But then also, it's quite diverse because we also have students from law, with law background, healthcare, engineering background. And you will see that the highest representation is from Europe. But yeah, I mean, me recruiting in Sub-Saharan Africa, I'm actively looking for attracting more African candidates to the master programs. Careers. Our career team is a team of more than 30 professionals. They are really specialized in different industry sectors. So financial services, there's going to be consulting team, healthcare, tech. Even there's a person that's really focusing on international organizations, also jobs for those of you that are interested in jobs, focusing on social impact. So there's a large list of activities that are taking place during the year, but we're going to be talking about that later on with our students. Some placement, those of you that have checked out the employment report, you will see that we have a very good placement. Of course, you have to work on it, so it's not going to fall out of the sky, but just knowing that you have a really great support from our career team. And here you have some numbers. 93% of our students have a job in the 3 months after graduation. Then the highest placement in Europe, basically because most of our students want to stay in Europe, but of course there's also opportunities worldwide. Average salary after graduation, and then after 3 years after graduation. These are some of the companies that are very actively recruiting, with many more, representing all industries, as you can see. Financing, here very shortly for you to know that we have different kinds of financing options. First of all, the Excellence Award. The Excellence Award is going to be based on your talent. So we're going to be taking into account your academic background, which is your GPA, your admissions test, and then also your overall profile. So you know that work experience is not required for our MSc programs, but of course, having an internship experience, or some of you also have full-time work experience, will for sure add value to your profile. And that's what we're going to be taking into account in order to decide if we can grant an excellence award to you. There's also the need-based scholarship that is offered for MSCs and full-time MBA programs. Well, we have, to be honest, we have 8 available for almost 600 students. So knowing that we have quite a large number of applicants coming from more developing countries, it's, I would say, honestly, slightly a little bit different to get a NEET scholarship if you're based in Switzerland, as you can understand, right? But then there are different loan options that you can apply for. From this year, we have a new initiative that has been launched by Esade, which is a loan that is granted by Esade. It's called Income Shared Agreement. And if you're interested in that, you can apply as soon as you're admitted to the program. You can reach out. You can send us your application. Besides, then also the other loan providers that you can see on our website that you can reach out to and then see what conditions they have, compare, and then for those of you that want, can then combine with the scholarship. All right, application process. Some of you are already applying. Some of you have already submitted application. Others still have to start. So let me briefly walk you through the process. It's very, I would say, easygoing. I would say my colleague Gigi, she's following up on your application. So as soon as you start, she's going to be validating the documents that you're uploading. So if you see that when you upload, you will see a red cross. That means that that doesn't mean that it's not uploaded. That means that she hasn't validated yet. So she has to go and really go and check each document to make sure that it has the requirements. And then when she's done that, you will see that it's marked in green. So we will ask you to submit several documents, which is your bachelor degree, your transcripts, your English proficiency test. If you haven't studied in English, if English is not your mother tongue, knowing that when you choose to do the Esade test, you can decide to include the English test in the same exam. All right, so then the exam will be longer, but then you don't have to provide an additional fluency test. By the way, also we also accept Duolingo. The admissions test, there you have the choice to choose between the GRE, the GMAT, and the Esade test. The Esade test is free of charge, and you can book your test as soon as you submit your application. You can even if you do GMAT or the GRE, I always recommend to also do the Esade test. We can have a conversation because it gives you an extra chance for a higher score, which is of course going to be important, not only for admissions to the program, but then even more for if a scholarship is important for you, right? So we're going to be asking for recommendation letters, your CV, and then as soon as you, when you finish, you can submit your application, and then we will ask you to pay the application fee. And you can submit your application even if there are some documents missing. If you say, I want to go ahead and I want to book the Esade test, then I suggest submit, book your test, and then you can provide the missing documents later on. Of course, we won't be able to go to the admissions committee unless your application is complete. All right, so this is, I'm going to be just very briefly because I think it's interesting and to give you some tips. I'm just going to take one out of each, but maybe for the essays, what I see regularly that, of course, candidates are applying to different schools. So make sure that you really, adjust your application. You check out the schools, the values of the schools, the program, so that you're prepared and that you can really customize your application towards the school. In the past, I did have some candidates that forgot to change the name of the school. So be careful with that, right? Then regarding your CV, for us as admissions directors, it's always interesting to have your picture there because we receive a lot of applications, so it's easier for us to recognize and to remember you, I would say, right, when we receive the CVs. It's also important to mention hobbies because they can show like soft skills like leadership, teamwork. So don't forget also to mention that if you have any awards or you got any additional scholarships, please mention that too. Then the recommendation letters. If you have internship experience, then I always recommend to have at least one professional one. Then the other one can perfectly be academic. That could be a professor that is supervising you or was supervising you for your thesis. The Esade test, as I mentioned, it's not adaptive. So maybe I shouldn't say that, but I would say it's slightly easier than the GMAT and the GRE. You can also use a calculator. And then I would say do the mock tests that we have on the website to measure your level and then to decide how much more time you need to study. And then for the interview, just one message here. Don't be nervous. It's a conversation. You don't have to prepare for it. I'm going through your application. We're going to have a conversation about your experience, about your motivation, and so on. So there's nothing to be nervous about. All right. So just maybe one more message here. I'm going to be in Zurich next week. So we have organized an in-person session with Nicholas Barnhart, who is a test prepper in Zurich, and also the president of our alumni chapter, Andrea Sala, is coming. She's also a mentor. And I've invited an MBA alumni and an MSc alumni to come, and we're going to have a network. So if you're interested in joining us, you can scan or you can just let me know later and I can send you the link to register. If you want to meet me one-to-one, that's also possible on the 12th and the 13th. If you want to have an online session, that is also possible. So I'm available several days a week to have an online chat with you. And then very exciting, we have our next MSc Open Day in Barcelona. It's taking place on the 13th of March. It's a Friday afternoon. So those of you that have time, I really recommend to come. It's going to be an afternoon, and you can see our agenda. So you're going to be having a campus tour. There's going to be a career workshop. So you're going to be meeting the career team. There's going to be alumni, students coming. And then in the evening, we also going to have like a party, I would say, right, in Barcelona. So this is just from my side. And I think the most important, because the information that I'm giving you, most of it, you might have already seen it in the website. I already had a conversation with some of you. But then I think now what is really interesting is to introduce our students, to learn from them what is their experience. So I'm going to stop sharing. And I would like to ask Hannah, Timur, and Lucas to briefly introduce yourself and maybe your background before you start MSc program, why you've chosen this program, and then also why you choose Esade. Because we know that in Switzerland there are a lot of good schools. So what do you think was advantage for you to study abroad, study at Esade, instead of, I would say, staying in Switzerland? So Hannah, you can open. Yeah.
All right. Hi, guys. It's really great to meet you guys. I'm Hannah. I'm doing my first year in marketing management. I'm from Lausanne, Chèvre area, but I also lived in the US and different areas, different places. So why I chose Esade and specifically marketing management, I was first looking at a bunch of schools within Europe. But like Ursi said, something I think that's really important to do throughout like this whole application is really get to know the school, not just the program, but also like their philosophies, their philosophies of teaching and kind of what they want students to come out of as graduates of this school, because you are going to be representing Esade at the end of the day. And so that's something that really stood out to me. They, like Ursi said as well, it's very practical and hands-on. And it's a lot about learning people skills because at the end of the day, if you're doing a business master's, you have to understand people. And I think that's something that Esade does extremely well. I think even in all of the masters, not just in marketing. So I really liked the values and what they stood for. And then the reason why as well, I was considering different schools, was speaking with people at Esade. It has a really good reputation throughout Europe, but also throughout the world. And then also taking advantage and speaking to Ursi. She really wants to talk to you guys. It's doesn't have to be as scary or as intimidating as it feels. Being able to talk to her and have it be a little more of a conversation was really helpful for me when I was applying because it made me feel confident with my decision. So when it came down to like my last three schools that I was deciding, it was kind of a no-brainer by the end of it. I felt like I already knew everything about Esade. So I'd say just really I'd stress really get to know Esade and you can find all of the history of Esade on the website. You can scroll and stalk them on Instagram, everything. You can really get to know the school very well. And if that resonates with you, I think you'll know if it's the right decision or not. So yeah, I
Thank you,
think those
Anna.
are all the questions. I don't know.
No, no, no. Yes, I mean we're gonna let us first introduce yourselves, and then I'm sure that all the candidates that are here they have a lot of questions for you. So, Timur, hi, Timur.
Hey, Ursi, and hey, everyone. So cool that you're here. So then, yeah, just a little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Basel, and the German-speaking part of Switzerland. Then went to St. Gallen for my undergrad, and then for the master's, I wanted to do something different. I wanted to go to a different place in Europe, so I was checking around, and the name Asada has been dropped a bunch of times, and I can only agree with what Hannah has said so far. Talking to the people who have been there or had access to Asada have been quite positive. And then also the fact that it is located in Barcelona. It's a great city, not just to meet people, but also to just be exposed to such a different culture, which is also super important learning. And then while I was at Asada, now I met people from all over the world. As you saw, of course, it's rather Europe centered, but compared to Switzerland, it's much more international. And all these factors played a big role while I was making my decision. And yeah, as Hannah said, talking to Orsi is always great. And she then kind of highlighted this philosophy at Asada that the school really cares, and being there, this is basically just how I felt. So yeah, that's my little introduction.
Thank you, Timur. Hi, Lucas.
Hello, I'll go next. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. So hello guys, my name is Lucas. I've done my bachelor's in Lausanne in EHL. Right now I'm doing the master's in finance program, starting the second term now. The main reasons for me to choose Esade was basically I had many different criteria. I wanted for a starter to be in Europe. I wanted my master's degree to take place in Europe because it is where I'm closest to home. I wanted to be close to my family, to my friends, and we start then going down the criteria. Then I wanted to as well to be in a degree which was academically stimulating, and I looked for okay, which degrees are hard to pass, easy to pass, what courses, where are the PhD teachers basically, and basically here most of the teachers are PhDs, they're researchers, they know what they're talking about. So I really wanted to dive deeper into finance, and that's something I found here. And then I looked as well for somewhere where there was an international environment. I didn't just want to be in the middle of people all from one country. I wanted to talk to people, know more cultures, and that was something as well that I got a lot at THL and I wanted to keep going. And then I just kept going more. I wanted as well a school which is highly ranked, and Esade has Orsi showed is quite well ranked in the world. Is a very well known for employability, and also has many different exits. And finally, what can I say? Barcelona. Uh, I really fell in love with the city. I had done an internship here 2 years ago, and I really fell in love with the city, with everything you can visit, with everything that you can get to know. For those of you who have visited here, you know everything that there is to do in Barcelona. And for me, when I put all my criteria and I filled all my list, Esade was the only number or the name popping up. And I'm happy to reply to questions after if you have one.
Thank you, Lucas. I have like two questions that I would like to ask all of you, and then I'm gonna open the floor for more questions. So you mentioned, of course, choosing the program that you've chosen is, of course, with the idea of your future professional aspirations, right? So that's why you choose to do this focus. So I wanted to hear, now that you've already gone through the program, you're there a couple of months, you've worked with the career team. Could you tell maybe us a little bit more about your professional goals, and then also how the career team has been helping you, and or how the program has been helping you with that? Maybe Lucas, you wanna continue, yeah?
Yeah, sure. So in Esade, basically, when you join, you're going to have access to a job platform. I think that's their first key point for career advice. This job platform has a lot of curated jobs that you won't find, for example, in LinkedIn. This is where companies come and post directly, and there's many jobs that you only have access through this platform. Then through the platform as well, you have access to many events which are organized by the careers team. They're also very responsive. If you have any question, if you need any help with your CV, with your cover letter, they're there to help you. And then once you go out there, you also can do mock interviews, for example, which I found was something really interesting. And then, yes, just having the brand Esade in your name puts you there forward. And I can tell you, for me, at least I've been having interviews, I've been talking to people. And it's also a lot, not just on the career side, but as well on the alumni side. So I reach out to alumni. There's always happy to reply, always happy to help you move forward. And I think that on the career aspect, it's something that you have a very good backing. And then, as Lucy said, you have to do your work. But you know that you have someone who's there to show you the way a bit.
Have you attended any of the career fairs, Lucas? Because we had
Yes.
a couple of months ago a really big one, which was in the
Yes.
Congress Center, right? And then
yes, I found it very, very, very good, because I was talking to a friend which is on another university, and I was telling him the names of the companies we visited, and I was like, oh, we had a career fair, but none of those companies were here. And it's strange that they come in Esade. Like, no, it's not strange that they come in Esade. Esade is Esade. And it just shows you have companies which are the bulge brackets, the big banks, they come to Esade because they want Esade talent. And that's something that is very, very enticing.
Yeah, so that career fair was like all industries, right? Have you also attended the specific career fairs for financial services?
As well, yes. So the
Yeah.
specific financial services career fair is also, you will find all the companies there. It's just a more focused version of the overall career fair. And here you're going to have actual access to the people, you network, you go for a coffee chat later, and then you really get to know what positions are open. And it's very good because they're actually looking for Esade talent.
Yeah. And do you have an idea where you see yourself after the master? Are you looking into a specific yeah?
So after the masters, a bit more of background of myself. I've done the CFA, and I'm someone who's very much into asset management, and I'd really look and see myself in the future being either doing equity research or portfolio management. It doesn't need to be in a big bank, but in a company where I'm able to be free and to keep on with all that are my personal values.
Yeah. Okay, thanks for sharing. Anna, what about you? What is your experience on the career side? Yeah.
Yeah, well, like Lucas said, right from like the first week, you have interactions with the career services team. They kind of break down each industry and the process, and they really make sure you know that they're there for you. I met with the career service lady, Shaya, at the beginning. Now it's a new lady. But so when I met with her, Same thing. I mean, at the beginning, why I was doing my master's as well was because I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do. I knew I liked retail, I knew I liked FMCG, but I didn't know exactly what. And what was really helpful with her is that, like Ursi said, it's a huge team ready to help you. And so she pointed me towards the ones that were more experienced within retail. But I think even more than that as well is because our professors are either have been or are professionals, they also have a lot of connections. They bring in guest speakers. You go and visit companies during your skill seminars. And during these events, I think more than anything, it's also about networking. I know it's like an annoying sentence that even like they always are pressing that on us. But I think even like we had the guy from Career OS, which is a platform that said about 80% of jobs are filled through networking. So it's a really important skill that Esade knows. And so a lot of what they do is also prepping the students on that. And then obviously going out and meeting them as well. And then as well as with the career services, also all of your professors are going to be more than willing to speak with you and chat with you. They know about the industry very, very well. So all of these doubts or questions that you have an abundance of people ready to help you as well. So
Thank you, Hannah. Timur, what is your experience so far?
So yeah, there's not that much more to add. My colleagues have already
Yeah.
said a lot. But yeah, I can only agree that they really try to take care of you and they make sure you understand what it takes, especially the networking part, super important. But with the huge alumni community all over the world, it's not that tough. And I think one thing that hasn't been said yet, I think almost every week or every second week, the career people literally send open jobs to Asada students per mail. So you can always try to find an internship, talk to people. And one thing that they also did, I think several days they had an ex-partner from McKinsey who was teaching us how to crack consulting cases, which was quite helpful. So they really try to give us all the tools and then it's up to us what we make of them. And yeah, where I might see myself, of course, I try to return to Switzerland, maybe in consulting, which would be nice. But after my study tour, where I had the chance to go to San Francisco, I got, let's say, a lot of entrepreneurship and startup propaganda, which I also quite enjoyed. So I might try to throw in an internship at a startup. But yeah, it just shows that Esada, the opportunities are nearly endless with people all over the world. And every single tool that you need is put in your hands, and now you're the artist.
So that's what I was going to ask you next. So my last question about the study tours. So Timur, so you changed your international management spot with an entrepreneurship study tour spot, right? So how did that go? How did you manage this exchange? And then how was your experience in the study tour?
So yeah, first of all, I got super lucky because I got the Japan study tour spot, which in itself is also super nice. But I always wanted to check out Silicon Valley and learn more about it. And then a classmate's girlfriend wanted to go to Japan because she had the entrepreneurship tour. And then that was the perfect switch. And yeah, then while going there, we first did a road trip in California, checking out LA, the Pacific Highway, some national parks, which, yeah, I mean, it's amazing, amazing place. And then, yeah, we spent a week in San Francisco, and the professor is super well connected. We had people from OpenAI, the founder from Craigslist, Meta people, VCs from everywhere. So that was super inspiring. And it was literally just a conversation with them. And then we also visited Stanford and Berkeley. So it was a extremely impressive and inspiring tour. And yeah, now I've been back a week and still trying to process everything. But yeah, it was
A good
great.
experience. Hannah, did
100%.
did you go? Was it to Korea now that you went? Yeah, right? Yeah.
yes,
How was
yep.
that?
Also amazing. I used to live in Korea, so for like 4 years, but coming back in a completely different context was amazing. We went to Cubs. The topic, each study tour has a different topic. So ours was marketing technologies. So a lot about AI, which is obviously good. It's the future of everything. So it was at a good timing. And then we also went and visited two companies, Naver, which is really big in Korea, and actually also globally because they do basically online comics. And then we went to Amore Pacific, which is a skincare company. And something that you'll also realize, and I think everybody throughout all the study tours had an amazing experience with the companies. They are so welcoming. We got to like have a whole tour of the companies, speak with, for us, the communications director. So very senior level to take the time to meet with us. And then what's really cool is that you get to learn from professors. So I got to learn from Korean professors who maybe have a different way of teaching or different philosophies and all these like things that maybe culturally is different from how we're doing it at Esade, which was really cool to also experience, to see a different perspective on business as well. So it was an amazing experience.
And I must say your skin is very shining. So you must
Yes.
have received a lot of Korean products.
They gave us a discount. We went to the flagship
yeah.
store and they gave us a discount. Lots of
Great.
face masks.
Great. Lucas, did you go on a study tour?
Yes, I was actually in St. Gallen. So there's this, it was the finance study tour for, so there was three finance study tours, one to Hong Kong, Dubai, and St. Gallen, and I picked the boring one. No, I'm just kidding. So I picked St. Gallen. The topic was capital markets and wealth management in Switzerland. I wanted to go back to Switzerland and see my friends. That's what I did my bachelor. So it all made sense. During the study tour, everything was very well organized. We arrived there, we have the hotel. Then we had classes. It was private equity and wealth management. The teachers as well, super, super knowledgeable. I think, Timur, you said you did as St. Gallen, so you know how it is. And then during the whole week, we had a lot of exposure as well to what is the Swiss culture. I mean, there was people who never been in Switzerland that visited, so for them it was also eye-opening. We visited as well Julius Baer and another company, Hilti, in Liechtenstein. So we also had company visits, opportunity to network with graduates, and then everything went very well. Now, more than ever, I know that this is what I want to do. And it was also very good as an opportunity to visit St. Gallen and learn from their professors.
All right, thank you. So I think, well, we still have, I don't know what about your time, but it was scheduled until 7 o'clock. I'm happy to go a little bit longer, depending on the questions that we have. So I would like to invite all of you to open the microphone. Questions. Who wants to go first?
I actually have a question for Lucas, if that's okay.
Yes. Hi, Emily. How are you?
Hello.
Good.
Yes,
Thank you.
sure.
I just wanted to ask how you perceived like the ambiance at Esade after having done EHL, and also the level in finance, how it was compared to EHL. How did you find it?
You did EHL.
Yes, I'm at EHL right now.
Okay, cool. So the ambience is very nice. I think the people here are very cool. I mean, you know EHL, how the people are super nice here. You wouldn't be missing out on anything. There's people from everywhere. There's many groups. There's many people who you can talk to. So it is very, very similar. Of course, EHL is EHL. I have to say it. But it's very similar in that aspect. For the finance technicalities, I would say there are more challenging courses and less challenging courses. For the first term, from what I remember, there was one course which was a bit more challenging than the others, and the others, you can always as well reach out to the professor, and they're always trying to teach you. The approach they have, at least for the first term, was to teach you as if you don't know anything. And as Ursi said as well, if you have really no background in finance, there is the prep program that gives you the tools to excel in finance. And then once you reach now term 2, we start looking at derivatives, and everyone is very well versed to work on it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
I'm a same Emily. So I was at EHL twice, right? Because I attended the campus event, and each time I'm really very impressed by well the profiles, the academic background at EHL, but then it's really a very similar culture to Esade, the diversity, so the teamwork. You do also a lot of internships, right? So this practical approach. So I see a lot of similarities between EHL and Esade. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hi, hi,
Hi,
Ursi.
Luigi.
Hi, this is Luis.
Hi, Luigi.
Sorry if my camera's turned off,
No
but
worries.
as Ursi knows, I'm applying to the marketing management program, and I really wanted to ask Hannah about her experience. Any specific topics or exposures that the marketing masters offered you, maybe that were different to maybe some of your colleagues and other masters in marketing could have had or have had. Something that is very like maybe eye-opening or maybe like very interesting that this masters has offered you.
Yeah. Well, super great that you're applying for the marketing management. I love it so far. But I'd say the class that stood out to me the most, that was also the most challenging, was a class that was called Brand-Driven Strategic Marketing and Management. And so basically this is where we had a company project. So you worked with a real life company. Each of them, there was a large variety. We had Lacoste, we had Chandon, we had some tech companies, some retail, and I worked with a cosmetic company. And basically, some of the other teams that worked with the other companies got an actual problem that they had to try and solve, versus ours was kind of like, these are the problems that we have, and we don't really know what to do. So, can you help us? And so this was definitely the most eye-opening because marketing specifically can be a large amount of problems that you have to try and identify what they are and which to prioritize. So with this, you learned a lot of frameworks because we had three different professors teaching us. And so after this, you kind of realize that each team had a different approach and a different problem that they had to try to solve within marketing. And then I'll say another one that I think probably a lot of the people in the masters right now would agree on is marketing strategy. You'll have it at the beginning, maybe. It was 2-week course, but it was really, really incredible because you got to understand all the nuances of marketing as well, and kind of it's not as maybe concrete as finance, just from my perspective, because you just have to consider a lot of different things when it comes to communications, or just a wide variety of things that you could do. And he was really, really good at teaching us the strategy, but within marketing. And then I'd say like now this term we just did marketing analytics. So you're not only just learning the fun creative stuff, you're also learning the actual numbers behind it and understanding the impacts that you're doing with your creative initiatives. So I'd say so far I've been very happy with all of the classes. They all build on each other.
That's really great to hear, Anna. Thank you. I also wanted to ask you a follow-up. I don't know if you or any of the others have joined any student associations, because I already did. I am from Bocconi, and I did a few in my 3-year bachelor's. So I wanted to know if at Esade there's that same culture to join in for that extracurricular aspect.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a ton of them. There are with the bachelor students as well. So you can do sports, you can do retail, anything that you could think of. There's pretty much an association or a club for it. And they're really, really well done. Once again, if you have the Esade stamp, I think people are willing to work with you, because I went to an Esade fashion club talk that they had, and they had a lady from LVMH come and speak with us. So they do a really, really good job. I'm not personally part of one, but I think I know a lot of my friends that are part of them, and they've been very, very happy with it. You kind of have different jobs, so you apply for different jobs within the club. So you could do marketing, or you could do the financings, you could do whatever, and then you apply for them, and then usually they get allocated depending on the applicants.
Timur
Thank
and
you so
Lucas,
much.
Timur and Lucas, are you part of any club?
Chris, you want to go ahead or should I?
Please.
All right. Yeah, for the first term, I was part of 180 Degrees Consulting. I had a team lead role there, which was quite interesting. It was a cool project with a Spanish startup. I think they worked in the government sector with some AI things, and we helped them to do a go-to-market strategy and a sales playbook. And yeah, I've done that for one term, and now I'm focusing more on different things like getting a job. But as Hannah said, there are so many associations for you to choose from, and it's quite easy to get in touch with them. They also have a big fair in the first week, so you can meet them, talk to them, see what it's all about, and then yeah, just apply.
So myself, I'm not personally part of any student association. What I can tell you is I was doing the CFA Research Challenge, which is a competition, and that's something as well that I'm mostly towards participating in these group type of competitions and not so much into association. But as Timur, I have friends which are in 180 degrees, and I think as well there are amazing opportunities as well to get your name out there.
Thank you, Lucas. Thank you, Anna, Timur.
Hello, I have a question.
Hi, Salome.
I'm at EHL with Emily also, and I'm interested in the MSc in finance. I was wondering if for us the pre-program is mandatory or...
Sorry, Salome, you said what is your background?
I'm at EHL with Emily.
Okay, you're together, right? So, Lucas, I mean, you would have the same background as Lucas, right?
Yes.
I mean, what I can say is, I think you don't need to do it
No,
because I didn't. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you mean, Lucas? You did a master in the pre-program in finance?
No, I did not.
Okay, so that's what I thought. No. So if you have a business background and you have exposure to finance and you have finance courses during your bachelor, of course we will have a look because it can depend from one school to the other. But with EHL, and as Lucas said, you won't need to do the pre-program in finance. No.
Okay,
So
perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, you're good.
I have one more question if there's time.
Yes, of course. Go ahead.
So my question is also for Lucas. I'm looking into the MSc finance program, and I'm coming from someone who doesn't have a background in business or finance. And I'm wondering if you have any classmates or colleagues who have a similar background as mine, i.e. like non-quantitative, and how you perceive their success in the program.
I think that's a good question because you're not the only one, Lucia. Yeah.
A very specific question. Do I have someone who doesn't have finance background? Yes. And usually what happens is that these people, they have, or you have an interest, a very strong interest to finance, or you already have had some exposure to some extent. So it's not that finance is new to you. And I don't think that is going to be the case for you. And it's not the case for the person that I have in mind. What I can tell you and assure you is that you are going to have to learn more and work harder. Because in the end of the day, we are all learning towards a goal. And the teachers, I mean, this is something as well I can tell you. The teachers are always going to help you more and give you a special attention. And in the end, you're going to move together with your teammates as well. Is a fact of one of my friends. He doesn't understand this. We get together and we study on a library on the weekend. And it's a lot about you showing your interest and showing that you want to get there, then rather than, oh, I don't understand this subject, nobody's going to help me. No, it's not going to be that.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's important to this collaborative team spirit that we have in Esade, right? And Lucas just gave you the perfect example. It's a fact if you don't have a finance background, you will do the pre-program in finance. You will have to do you will have to study more, right? Because you're not going to be familiar with some terms that other students would be familiar with. But then, and that's the good thing, doing group work, you're always going to be surrounded with students that do have more experience and exposure to you to finance, right? Which makes it interesting for you to learn from others and knowing that you always have the support, right? So, but I don't remember, Lucia, did you do any internship related? With, you had
Yeah,
some exposure, right?
my most recent was with the Climate Finance Unit of United Nations Environment Program.
Yes.
It was light touch on like actual any, analytical financial, analysis, but it was, it's in the title and we were working with different impact investing projects. So kind of in the general camp of finance, I would say.
Yeah.
If I might add, then I think that is pretty much perfect. I wouldn't add anything. I wouldn't take out anything because again, when you start on the first term, the teacher is gonna take you on the hand and is gonna guide you towards. And I think it's just that you already have this background, you already know some terms, and then the rest is gonna come with time. And then you study with your friends, you come to class, you understand, you have group projects, you learn a lot. So I wouldn't be worried if I were you.
Okay. Thank you for the reassurance, and thank you to the other people who spoke as well. Your insights have been really helpful.
Thank you. We have, I mean, from my side, we still have some time for more questions. So go ahead. Yeah. Salome. Yeah.
The test, I haven't started yet to study, but I was wondering how long does it take to prepare? If it is, yeah, a few months
You mean
or
the admissions test, right?
yes.
Yes. Okay. There again, I mean, I'm going to ask the students also to share their experience on the admissions test, but it really depends also on the on the exposure that you already had. I always recommend to do the mock tests that we have to start with and to measure your level, right? And then to prepare. If you're going to be studying, I recommend even if you do the Esade test, right, to study with the GMAT materials, because as I said, our test is very similar, only that it's not adaptive, right? Like the GMAT. So if you're studying with the GMAT materials, you're going to be perfectly fine. And then I mean, if there are also different websites and platforms that you can use, like there's, for example, Magoosh, where you can also do your exercises, but maybe our students can share also their experience, how they prepared for the test and what tests they did. Who would like to give a little bit more information on that?
All right. Well, I studied for the GRE because I needed it for other schools, and I was quite intimidated by it. So I did spend probably 3, 4 months studying, and I use a lot of online platforms. Um, I would say that the Esade admissions test was easier than the GRE, in my opinion. Um, and like Ursi said, if you're well versed in the GRE, GMAT type questions, then the Esade test shouldn't be a problem. Also, there's the mock test on the Esade website, but there's actually a lot of universities that have mock tests. So if you use up your one with Esade, you can find one online for free. But so I would take some time reviewing some stuff because there were some things that I hadn't seen since high school that I definitely needed to review. So at least spend a little, I would say minimum a month, I'd say.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. What was
Thank you
your
so much.
experience?
Sorry.
I don't
So
remember what test you did.
I did the Esade admissions test.
Okay.
I will be biased because I've never opened a GRE or a GMAT book in my life. So I wouldn't be able to tell you whether it's harder or easier than those exams. What I can tell you is that the mock exam, as Anna said, helps a lot. So what I did was I went and did the mock. I prepared. I looked at what type of questions. Then, I mean, we have AI today, so I used AI to give me more questions. What should I focus? What should I look more into it? And then by doing more questions, if you feel yourself comfortable, you just go, you schedule your test, and you do it. And that's how I did it. Now, I didn't prepare for very long because at the same time I was studying for other exams and finishing my bachelor's. But I think it's for sure something that if you're focused, you can definitely tackle within 1 month, a month and a half.
Yeah, and just for you to know that Esade test you can only do it once. While the GRE, the GMAT, you can repeat it, but there's always going to be a conversation before I take any further step. If you do the Esade test before I go to the admissions committee, of course we will be doing the interview, so we will be talking. But if I say, look, we won't communicate the test result, but I will tell you, look, you have an average score, you have an above the average score, you did well in the numerical part, you did better in the verbal reasoning. So I will give you that information. And then I will, of course, tell you like, look, okay, with this test score, most probably, I mean, you make a really good chance to be admitted to the program. But if the scholarship is important for you, then, I mean, it's going to be risky. You might not qualify for a scholarship. And then you can decide, you can take your time to do or the GMAT or the GRE, or if you've done the GMAT, GRE, then do the Esade test, because I must say that most of my candidates that do both, I think all of them, they have a higher score on our test. So if you say, okay, I'm applying to other schools, I'm doing the GMAT anyway, okay, let's wait for the result. And then we can say, okay, look, I can give you my feedback. And then I could say, look, if the scholarship is important, let's do the Esade test. And then we will maintain the highest score to go to the scholarship committee. So yeah, we're always going to have a conversation there, so don't worry. Yeah. More questions?
One small question about the mock exams that are on the Esade websites. There is a limit to how much we can do, to how many we can do.
There is a limit, but I don't know how many, honestly. I will have to ask Gigi, who's an expert in that. Hannah, yeah.
Yeah,
Hannah,
I think it is just one chance on the mock exam.
Okay, thank you so much.
I remember there weren't that many questions either on it. So I would say, yeah, try out. And actually with Magouche, and there's a lot of online platforms that do have mock exams that you have to pay for, but you can find some online.
Okay, thank you so much.
And if you would like to receive the help of a test prepper, I mean, I'm always happy to give you Nicholas' contact number. And he was also there at the EHL event, so at the campus event that we attended, that the schools attended, he was also there. So if at some point you would like to receive his feedback and his guidance, just let me know and I'll connect you with him. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Ursi, can you tell us more about the scholarships, which are possible or not?
Yes. All right. So the scholarships. So we have two types of scholarships. As I said, need scholarship, it's going to be very difficult for candidates in Switzerland. So I would say, yeah, go for the Excellence Award, right? The Excellence Award goes up to maximum 40% of the tuition fee. And that means a really, really high GPA, a really high test score, solid internship experience that is related to the program of your choice. But yeah, so the maximum would be 40% that we're giving for the MSc programs. And basically how it works, I mean, to be honest, it's an automatic calculation. So we fill in your GPA, we fill in your test score, and then I will give a grading on your overall profile. And then the result that comes out will automatically correspond to a scholarship amount. And depending on then what rank, there are different rankings, right? So this is how it works. But then when I present your scholarship to the scholarship committee and I say, look, for this reason, I could ask the scholarship committee to adjust. So they could reconsider the scholarship, but it's never going to be more than one ranking higher, right? So if you, for example, receive a 10% scholarship, it's not going to be possible to adjust to 40%, right? But there is an option to revise if we see that there is a reason or motivation to that. So you will see on the website that there are different kinds of excellence awards. You just choose a title that you feel more comfortable with, because at the end you will have to write an essay. And if you say, look, okay, this is the topic that is me, that I identify myself with, then choose that one. So the amount of the scholarship will not depend on the title of the excellence award that you choose. It will depend on your profile, of course, right? So I recommend once you submit your application, you don't have to wait until you're admitted. You can already apply for the Excellence Award. And then just same as the admissions committee that comes together every week on Thursdays, also the scholarship committee comes together once a week. So that means that if this Thursday you are admitted to the program and you have applied for your Excellence Award, I would say maximum 2 weeks time until you have also the decision of your scholarship. And that would then be on time for you to meet with the deadline to enroll in the program. Yeah?
I didn't quite understand. You said enroll in the program after. So is it not like you need to fill out everything, you send in the application, pay the application fee, and then
Yes, correct. So you fill in the online application, you upload the required documents, you submit your application, we wait for the admissions test score, then there's going to be an official interview with me. And then as soon as everything is complete, I'm going to be presenting your application to the committee, to the admissions committee, which is every Thursday. So then means that the same Friday or at the latest on Monday, you will receive an email with the decision of the committee. And then I will have a look once you are admitted and you've received this communication. I will have a look if you have applied for a scholarship. If you have applied for a scholarship, I will have to work on it. I will have to prepare it. And then I will present that to the scholarship committee in the following committee. It can be the next week or it can be in 2 weeks. It also depends on my travels and when I can present them, right? So yeah, so this is basically the timeline, but you have to be admitted first before we consider your scholarship application.
okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And if I
Okay,
finish
good.
like the bachelor's this summer, I can just like send in all the grades I have till now.
Yes. So if you apply now and you haven't finished your bachelor degree, you're not graduated yet, we will give you a conditional admittance. So you have to upload your transcripts that you have so far. And based on those transcripts, the admissions committee will take a decision, right? And then, of course, when everything is complete, you have your full transcripts, you will have to send them to us, all right? That would be then after you've been admitted. And when you come to Esade during, well, your first week, you will have to bring your official bachelor degree and your transcripts to show to my colleague Gigi. And then, of course, we will not keep them. She will need to see them. And then you can take them back with you. But it would be then a conditional admittance. In case you don't graduate, of course, you can't do the program. So that's why we call it conditional admittance.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ursi, I'll have to leave.
No
Thank you
worries,
very
Lucas.
much for the call. If any of you has more questions, don't hesitate to text me. I'll just have to jump to another call. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Lucas. All right. I think we can wrap up unless there's any other question. Last question, maybe? Somebody? No? No questions. Okay, good. All right. So, well, thanks for joining us today. You know, I'm always available. Please reach out to me. I think I'm connected with all of you via WhatsApp. If you want to attend some of the events next week in Zurich, let me know. If you want to come to the open day in Barcelona, let me know, because if by then you're ready with your application, we can do also the interview in person in Barcelona. And then also important for you to know, if any other day you want to come to campus, you want to sit in class, you want to experience the class, please let me know, because we do customized visits. So some of you might want to come to Barcelona for the weekend, and then if you come on Friday morning, or Thursday evening, or you can do on Monday. We can organize easily a sit-in class. Just only that I need to know in advance, because we have to reach out to professors and see what classes will be available. And then also just to know if, well, we have to make sure there are classes, that it's not during the exams or during the holidays. But yeah, I think that's also an interesting, if you can't join us on the official open day, take that in mind, that you can always come and have this experience. And for sure, it will help you to take your decision, right? Yeah. All right. You have a lovely, lovely evening. Sorry? Okay. So you have a lovely evening. I'm looking forward to being in contact with you. Thanks, Anna, Timur, and Lucas, who has already left, for helping me as always, sharing your experiences and guiding candidates, and hopefully welcoming them to Esade in the very near future.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, reach
Bye
out for
bye.
Thank you
anything.
very
Thank you,
much.
guys.
Thank you very
Bye.
much.
Have a
Bye.
lovely
Bye
evening.
bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye bye.